halloumi and lamb skewers are going to be so popular at your next barbecue. I love them because it's a real taste of the Mediterranean, and what's better than the combination of sweet, juicy lamb and salty halloumi. Now, halloumi is an unripened brined cheese. It's got a high melting point, so it's great for frying, and it's going to cook at the same time as the lamb. Now, I'm using lamb rump. You can get this at most of your supermarkets now. If you can't get it, I like to use a leg of lamb that's been deboned. It's got some really nice flavors to it, and it's not too lean, a little bit of fat, so it stays super juicy when it's cooking. Now, before I start threading this onto the skewers, I'm going to get a post-marinade ready to go. Now, I say post-marinade because I'm not going to pre-marinate my meat. I find because I'm using quite a lot of garlic in this, if this goes straight onto the grill at the beginning, it'll burn. I want that really nice fresh flavor of the garlic, so I'll baste the meat and the halloumi just in the last 5 minutes of cooking. And I'm just using a fine grater so we puree it. And keeping with that Mediterranean Greek style, I'll add some oregano, dried oregano for this, so we get that nice strong flavour, and some honey, because halloumi and honey are best mates. They taste so good together. Again, it's that contrast of salty and sweet that works so nicely. And now a small amount of lemon zest. I'll use the juice at the end. Beautiful. To bring it all together, good quality extra virgin olive oil, a few tablespoons, and a pinch of sea salt, not too much because the halloumi is salty enough. And with a spoon, we'll mix that together. So that's the marinade ready to go. All right, now for our gorgeous skewers. We need to cut the halloumi into the same size as the lamb. And I've got a really big chunk of halloumi here, but if you don't, just get 2 packets. I like it to be quite chunky like this so we get those perfect cubes. And then I'll cut that in half again, so it's roughly the same size as our lamb. And I'll do a few more. Great. Now to thread this, we'll start with our lamb and we'll place that on there. Now I'll grab a piece of the halloumi and we'll pop that on. And then just repeat the process, and I've preheated a char grill. I'm just going to brush them with a little bit of olive oil, and these are going to take about 8 minutes to cook. I'm going to constantly turn them. In the last few minutes, I'm going to start basting it. All right, these have been cooking for about 2 minutes. Look at that, you can see that they're perfectly charred. So we'll do the first turn. And while they're cooking, I'm just going to get a really quick salad together. It's just a simple combination of tomatoes and some onion. And sumac, which has a really lovely lemony flavour. Okay, we've got some great colour on these gorgeous skewers. So now it's time to just baste them with our lovely garlic and olive oil mixture. Now you want to brush this in the last few minutes because of that honey content. You don't want it to burn. So glaze one side, turn it over. Oh, that looks so good. And then glaze a little bit more. You see it caramelising straight away. I'll turn the heat off, and now we can take them off the grill so they don't burn. Now because there is lamb on there, we do need the meat to rest so it doesn't go tough. It's going to stay nice and juicy. So we'll rest that just for a few minutes while we start assembling our pita pockets. Now I like a little sauce to this, and keeping with that Greek style theme, some tzatziki. Now in here, it looks like there's not much, but that is 1 cucumber. I've taken the seeds out, I've grated it, and I've removed all of the liquid, and this is what it ends up as. You've got that beautiful concentrated cucumber flavour, and that's all you really need with a few spoonfuls of Greek yogurt. And we'll give that a mix. I also like to add a little bit of lemon and a squeeze of lemon, and we'll just mix that up. Such a simple sauce, but something that goes so well with lamb and halloumi. All right, now for our pita pockets. I've warmed these up in the microwave because it's so much easier to fill and they won't split. I'm going to cut this one in half, and look how easy it is just to open it up. See how soft they are? And we want to open up quite widely because we want to fill it with all that delicious lamb and the halloumi. I'm going to serve 2 halves. Now I like the tzatziki to go in first, just on the base of each. And the second one, so a generous dollop. And now for our lovely tomato salad. I added some salt there just to really bring out the flavour of the tomato, olive oil and sumac, such a great spice to use. In actual fact, it's a berry that's been dried in the sun and then finely ground up. Just a beautiful flavour that also marries nicely with the lamb. And a few more pieces of tomato in here, along with our onions. You can't forget those onions, they're nice and soft now. We'll pop that on our plate. And now for these gorgeous skewers, it's rested nicely. Oh, look at this halloumi. See how soft and crunchy it is? Perfect. Now we're gonna need a few pieces per pocket. Then I'll get my tongs and then we'll carefully fill it up. Don't be afraid to fill them quite generously because it can hold quite a lot of that meat in the halloumi. So a few more pieces in there. You can add some herbs if you like, but you know what? I think that is fantastic as is. That is such a delicious dinner, done quite quickly. That beautiful combination of lamb, halloumi, filled in a pita pocket. That's a lot of fun. That right there is the taste of the Mediterranean. So delicious. I tell you what, you're gonna be full after having 2 of those.